Welcome back to Starving Artist. My name is LJ Jones, and I got an amazing episode lined up today with my brother, my good friend, Mr. Nappy Dress himself, or he used to be. What's good, Jonah?
What's up, LJ? Yeah, I had to slice them things, so I'm formerly Mr. Nappy Dreads. Now I'm just Nappy Beard, but
That don't have the same ring to it, though.
not at all. Not at all.
No. Let me tell you, man. When you went live, you were in the sauna with Second Chance.
Yeah.
And I saw the dreads gone. I was like, I think I put in the chat, what the fuck is this? I was, I was blown away. I was like, who is this?
Hey, man. Hey, when you wake up and get the urge to do something, you got to do it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, when I met you, you had the short dreads. You had the real short dreads. That was what was that? How long ago was that? 5 years ago?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 5 or 6.
See, man, now I gotta get. I'm still not used to it. Like something seems off. Like something's missing.
Yeah, I ain't used to it neither, man. But like
Your head cold. Your head cold.
it was last night, man. I had a little cold front slide through last night out of nowhere, and I was standing outside, smoking me a nice fat blunt, and man, it was cold, man. It was cold. My head was freezing, man. I got the little chill bumps and everything. I was like, "Whoa, what the hell?" Got to get used to
All
that.
right, man. Yeah, I know. Well, thank you for hopping on the podcast, bro. I appreciate that. The thing I love to start these out with, just in case the audience doesn't know who you are, bring them into your life a little bit. Let the people know where you're from and what that moment was when you realized, I wanna rap for the rest of
Yeah, so man, I'm down here in Tampa, Florida, man, and born and raised. Moved around a little bit, but born and raised here in Tampa. I was 8 years old when I first got my introduction to hip hop. It was the song. It was Warren G and Nate Dogg, Regulator.
There you go.
That was my introduction to hip hop, and it became like my favorite song. And I was like, "Oh shit, this is fire!" And I started listening to more. And my cousin Keith, he put me on to freestyling. So we used to take on. I'm showing my age a little bit, but we used to have the black boom boxes you can record over tape, and my aunt used to have the Michael Jackson tapes and stuff like that. We were a little disrespectful. We recorded over the Michael Jackson tapes, man, freestyling and stuff.
Over the king, man. How dare you?
Yo, man, she was pissed. She was heated. But that was my first start at hip hop and just freestyling. It turned into battle rapping, and then it turned into poetry, and it just evolved to an all around skill set that I've been trying to perfect for the rest of my life. The art form itself, I fell in love with. The sounds, I fell in love with. The studio, I fell in love with. That helped me transition to other things in entertainment like acting, which I got into off of starting doing stage plays, and I did too. And I was like, oh, I'm not too bad at this. It's pretty cool, just to see that the reaction from the crowd in real time, kind of let you know if you're doing a good job or not. And
that's the same thing with performing live too. It's just the audience participation, the excitement. It really heightens your energy.
Absolutely, and I think that those stage performances, rapping and doing my thing, kind of helped prepare me for that. You know what I mean? So I was able to perform and speak with my body and do things like that. That kind of resonated with the crowd.
Absolutely. So you ended up going into the Army. Thank you for your service, brother. What was that? What was that decision like? So I mean, you were still doing music when you went into the Army. So how did you come to that decision? Like, let me slide back from the music for a little bit and join the Army, serve the country. What was that decision like, and how involved in music were you while you were in the Army?
Yeah, well, it started out like this, man. Like right before I joined the military, man, like my city was on fire with some, with like petty beefs, And the crazy thing about it is it was amongst the Christian community. And
Yeah.
which was mind blowing low key if you think about it. So, I wanted to get away from all of that on top of the fact that I had just got out of a bad relationship as well. So I wanted to get away from her. You know what I'm saying? Lord be with her. But I decided to just join the military and just leave the state. Like, yo, I can't, it's too much negativity. I gotta leave the state. And that's what I did, man. Had a more disciplined lifestyle, had more structure. And when I was in there, when I first got to my first duty station, I met a couple guys. Shout out to Chaco, man. Shout out to my boy Lano. Shout out to 4J Simpson. You know what I'm saying? All the boys that I met from around the country that was just dope artists who, for one reason or another joined the military. We just so happened to meet at this point in our lives, and man, and we kind of sharpened each other up some more, kind of raised each other up. Like, hey, man, there's more to it, man. We can make a run. And I still mess with these guys to this day, man. On the production side, you know what I'm saying? Things like that, man, business wise. And to me, it was like a stepping stone. It was an opportunity for me to get out of the comfort zone of what I've known in Tampa and to step on a different stage. Because I'm out there in California, I'm performing on Sunset Strip, you know what I'm saying, at the Key Club and places like The Rock, stuff like that. And I'm in front of a whole nother crowd than I was used to, I had to learn how to relate to different people doing different music, stepping outside of the church, stuff like that. So it was fun for me. It was a whole lot of fun for me, man, to kind of make some music to make people move that I never met, that I didn't fully understand and stuff like that. So it was a great learning experience, and I feel like that propelled my artistry to a whole nother level, man.
For sure, yeah, man. And let me just, like I already said it, but let me just say it for everybody in the audience too. Thank you for your service. We love you for that. So when you got out of the army, you stayed in LA for a while, didn't you?
Yeah. Yep.
So when you were staying in LA, what was your day-to-day like? Were you pursuing the music? Did you get a day job? What were you up to?
Well, I was in school. For music production. The military was paying me to go to school, so I didn't have to work. So what I did do was I took that time to be in the studio all day, every day. I also partied all day, every day. It was a crazy balance I had going on. Yeah. But that party atmosphere, that live, energy was kind of helping the music too. So it was like a trade-off. Like, hey, I'm gonna turn up and I'm gonna make a song about this turn up. You know what I'm saying? And it worked out like that, man. I really started to get some traction. The numbers and squad grew, following grew. Met a guy who found my music on the internet. He used to actually he had a connection to G Unit, and he began to manage me. And he took me around Cali, and we started doing our thing, man. It was a pretty good experience, man, just to do it in a real way. You come from the local scene to actually doing it, worrying about business and constantly creating and strategizing, how to get this shit out there. It's like a whole nother, it's a whole nother feeling. So it was good to do all of that and just experience that for the first time.
From my own personal experience of living in LA on and off, there's just something about LA. It's just maybe it's just because there's so many creative people there, but it just kind of fuels that creativity, and it fuels that desire and motivation to just make stuff happen.
Let me tell you what was cool about it. What was cool about it, bro. I was in Cali around the time Kendrick Lamar was just bubbling.
Okay.
I was in Cali around the time where Nipsey was just bubbling. Bro, it was so much energy around that time. Like, you didn't have no choice but to like absorb some of that. Like, I felt like everything that was going on, with the different movements out there was really contributing to me becoming a better artist myself.
Yeah, yeah, and you definitely, even though you're from Tampa, you listen to your music now. There's still a little bit of West Coast flavor in there.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. I was over there in totality. I was over there 5 years, so I adopted some of the sound. Yeah, it's, not much of the lingo, man. I tried to keep my roots, but
Yeah,
I did adapt some of the sounds, man. I did.
So when you came back to Tampa, actually probably how we met was you were involved in CHH, which is Christian hip hop. So coming from LA, where you were doing the club scene, club route, coming down back to here and getting involved in Christian rap, that's an interesting dichotomy. So what was that? What was your mindset in kind of switching over to maybe clean your music up or have a certain mission behind it?
Yeah, so I'm a sucker, right? I'm a sucker. I came back from Cali and I saw some of the old homies that I was cool with kind of being overlooked. To me, in my opinion, great artists, so much to say, so much to give, and nobody was given opportunities. You know what I'm saying? It was really the crab in the barrel mentality. And it wasn't that big beef that was happening when I first left. Now it was something different. Now it was a little more something a little more covert going on. Just people wasn't rocking with each other. And I felt like the underdog should have a place to say something or a way to say something. So I started the Really Raw Entertainment, man, and I went and gathered up all the outcasts, the misfits, all the people that most didn't believe in or left for dead. And we started to bang on pots and pans, make some noise. And me, for my music, personally, I didn't have to change too much, man, because I always just told my story. Everything that I was doing in real life, it turned into a song. So it wasn't much of a change. With me getting back involved with CHH, all it was just rapping my lifestyle, man, and taking out a few expletives. But that, that's all that was, man. And I mean everything that I say when it comes to music. I want to be impactful no matter what side of the fence, I may stand on. I want to drop a message. I want to drop a jewel. I want to, talk about my failures so somebody who's coming up don't have to fail in that way that I did or hurt themselves the way I did. So it was a no-brainer to me to switch up a little bit and also help out the homies at the same time.
Right. So, see what I was thinking, man, is like you're like my real life boy. Like we're friends. So, I'm aware of different things that maybe the public eye don't see. That one of those things being there was definitely a transition in not only your music but kind of all of our music. You, Second Chance, Israel, me, where we were gonna be ourselves and not try to water anything down. And so you have these outside people who are CHH or nothing. That type of mentality, they're questioning not only our motives, but maybe they're also questioning our hearts. I know I've been told that people, they don't think I'm a Christian anymore because my music might have some expletives, or I've heard the same thing said about you or Chance or Israel, and to me, to this day, it's still crazy because I could say for all of us, especially for the three of you guys, that you guys seem to me, after all these years of knowing you guys are impacting more people now than you were 5 years ago.
Absolutely.
And so break that down. Break down. What are you doing in these people's lives? Because the audience has grew. It's grown exponentially, and it's just obvious, it's clear. You go live on Facebook, you got so many people there, and it's the same people. Like they love you, they love Chance, they love Israel. Like they're paying attention to everything you guys do. So how does it feel to make that impact? And do you see what impact you're making?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. When I was doing CHH, first of all, when I first came back, that was my first time hearing the CHH, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even know the shit got a name. I remember people used to fight, to not name it. And then all of a sudden it was a fight to hold on to this name. Shit was mind-boggling to me. Like I don't like to get into it. But I do feel like it's people who love CHH more than they love God.
All facts. Yes.
They like their genre more than they like to do the work of God. So for me, I didn't ever care what anybody thought about me. I still don't to this day, man. Look, I'm ashy right now, bro. I'm ashy. My beard's nappy. I'm the embodiment of I don't give a fuck. But the thing is, as I don't give a fuck about these things that I don't deem to matter, I care about the things that do matter. That's people.
Yeah.
That's people. That's lives. You know what I'm saying? That's real life. Fuck the material stuff. You know what I mean? Fuck this click, fuck that click, CHH and beyond. Fuck all that shit. What about the people? So since I care about the people, man, and I know that the people that I was around and that I'm around now care about people, it was only right that we just shed all that exterior stuff and the things that we thought mattered, we were taught that mattered, and just be truly us, right? And so as we went forth to being us, it really just, people gravitated towards that truth. It was authentic. It wasn't forced. It wasn't no cliche-filled message that was going to end up with asking for money at the end. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing like that. It wasn't trying to sway people to get on our following just for our self-gain. It was really caring about people. And so to this day, I get messages from fans who started out just liking the music or loving the energy from a stage show, sending me messages of their kids' report cards and seeing how the kids look up to us and they want to make sure they're doing the right thing and stuff like that. Some of the fans sickly, with like certain diseases, I don't even know how to pronounce endometriosis or something like that. Like, where your body hurts, randomly and stuff like that. Like, they still hit us up for prayer. The same dude smoking weed, cussing in his raps, but caring about people.
Yeah.
Is the one that they come to. They come to the one who care about it. They don't care about the other stuff, man. They want to know who cares about them, who's actually listening, and
who's not judging them,
and who's not judging them. Because who am I to judge, man? I lived a hell of a life, bro. I lived a hell of a life. Who am I to judge anybody, man? I want to know where you going, first of all, how you got here, and then where you want to go. And if it's anything I can do to help you get there. That's all. I don't want nothing from nobody. You know what I'm saying? And I think people realize that. And that's how we make more impact now than we've ever done the other way.
And just as your boy, man, like I couldn't be happier for you guys. Like to see the three of you tour all the time, obviously not during this coronavirus thing, but
man,
that's just it's taking the money from you. But no, you guys tour all the time. The audience engagement is just next level. And everything you just said, man, I couldn't vouch for it anymore than seeing all right. The one thing I love the older people that love our music, love your music. Is rest in peace,
crazy, right?
Rest in peace to Ruth Ann.
Yeah.
Beautiful soul, amazing woman. How old was she?
Old as fuck.
She used to show. Look, when we'll talk about it in a little bit. We did a Real and Raw show at a local bar, and Ruth Ann was chilling in the front in her wheelchair, and she was vibing. It was amazing, and it's just it just goes to show, man, that doesn't matter your situation, doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter, anything. People can relate
Bro,
to the music.
it don't matter age, race, or nothing, bro. We've done shows on um, Native American reserves, bro. Like
Yeah,
everybody loves, what's going on, the movement. It's so much love in the movement that I think people just fuck with that in a real way. And it
yeah,
don't even matter the genre of music because we're doing all genres. We're giving
oh
them
yeah,
all genres. You know what I'm
absolutely,
saying? Every
yeah,
flavor. So I don't even think that matters as much as the love that's exuded from the movement itself.
yeah. I forget who it was, but somebody had mentioned to me. I don't think they had realized how much I rock with you guys. But they had mentioned you and Chance by name, and said, how come, like, they were trash talking. Is that
Of course.
how come their fan base is so filled with, and I'm not saying this in a derogative way, I'm saying what they said, how come their fan base is filled with a lot of junkies? And it just goes to show the ignorance of the music. Like when you guys were early on tour, like all the outreach centers, all the amount of work that you put into to help these people stay clean, get clean and stay clean.
Yeah,
It just shows ignorance, and I love to let people know and put them in their place.
absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, what was that experience like working with people trying to get clean?
uh, you know, that's something that's always been kind of like on our heart in a real way, even back when we were doing CHH. Like we were the
Going in, at
same
least
people.
going to the jails.
We used to go
Yeah,
to the jails, man, women's prison, men's prison, juvenile detention centers,
yeah,
halfway houses. It didn't matter. On Main Street, in Tampa before they started to clean shit up now. But it was a hole for like homeless and drug addicts and I'm from that area, so I'm from right around the corner of the projects, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So it was a no-brainer for me to get on the street and do our thing, set up a mic and do whatever we do. We done these things, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So getting in front of the people like those, like my stepfather was, growing up, he was on crack, you know what I'm saying? We've,
mm-hmm.
you know, things missing out of the house. You know what I'm saying? Like this,
Mm-hmm.
that shit ain't foreign to me. These people aren't aliens. You know what I'm saying? These people
Yeah,
aren't from another planet. They aren't. You
mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? They're regular people who going through some shit, and
Yeah,
everybody got a different reason. You know what I'm saying? And since I know this, and I know I lived a real life, and a lot of these people haven't, man. They grew up in the church. They heard.
sheltered. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You do this, you end up like that, which ain't the case. You know what I'm saying? You don't tithe, you end up like this, which ain't the case. Such and such. You know what I'm saying? And they see other people and they say, oh, they must got hella sin in their life. They going through this, all the shit. You on drugs, you must be less than. And
mm-hmm.
that's how you never reach the people who really need to be reached. So we just
Absolutely.
always had a different mindset of like these people need love.
Yeah,
These people need love. And they fuck with that. You know what I'm saying? They fuck
yeah.
with that in a real way.
I did a song with Israel for his album, and I end my verse saying, we're addressing the issues within the church and within CHH and stuff like that. And my last two bars are, "You can keep your four walls and hypocrisy. My mission is the streets. I got a lot to see." And I mean, I think that just sums it up.
Real
It
shit.
really just kind of sums up the mission. Um, so I mean, let's venture into the acting. Let's venture into the acting. So you had mentioned that you had done some stage plays. So what was your first stage play, and how was it kind of adjusting to memorizing lines to staying in character on stage when you got an audience? What was all that like for you?
So it was kind of funny. I had uh, just gotten divorced, and I was in a play called "Oh My God, I Can't Breathe." Um, I, I had to play a husband,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just getting out of a marriage. I
Yeah.
didn't think I was going to be able to even pull this off, but I did, and it was a comedy involved. I think that helped it to make it, an easier transition. Because when you're on the stage performing, you got to keep a crowd engaged for however long you're on that stage, right? So when coming to the stage play, and it's scripted, sometimes, the director give you a little freedom to, give you some wiggle room to be you, kind of ad lib a little bit. And when I did it, it came off natural, and they took hold to it, and it kind of gave me confidence to keep going. So I was like, all right, hey man, this is kind of cool. They rocking with it. You know what? I'm gonna do another. And that's really kind of how I fell in love with it, man. I kind of stumbled upon it. Shout out to Siobhan Graham, man. She thought I would be great. And it turned out that I was actually pretty decent, you know what I'm saying? So thank her for, believing in my skill set.
And I think it goes without saying that I believe that you have a very very talented acting future ahead of you. Because if I didn't think that, I wouldn't have put you in my movie.
Yeah, right. Real talk.
So from the music to the stage to the screen, you were a co-lead in my film, A Dream. Essentially, you played yourself.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gave and that was I really wanted to let you have your name in the movie, because when people see the movie, I want them to look you up and get your music and gravitate to all that.
Right.
So what was that experience like for you? Because that was your first time on a film set. You've obviously done music videos and stuff like that, but what was your experience like getting this? Well, you didn't read the script, but getting on the set and all that.
Yeah, shoot, man. Let me start there. That was different for me. Like, I'm sorry, I got a text message just now. It's kind of one of them messages that you'd be like, "Why did you ask me that?" But anyway, I started off. I got the script, and I read my parts, right?
Right.
And that was it. That was it. I didn't read or finish the script until after the first day of shooting. I said, all right, I think I want to see what this is about. I'm in it. I might want to see what this is about.
Yeah.
But that first day, I got to get around some of the other actors, and I got to see them perform. And that was what really like kind of got into me. I was like, whoa. These young men and women, and older men and women, was like really in their bag. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, yo, they're really taking this shit seriously, man. Like, I can't just get up here and freestyle. Like I say, if the root of all my entertainment experience starts at freestyling. So it's comfortable to me. So I'm like, oh shit, I can't freestyle this, man. And it was just a real good experience to get around other people who really take that crowd seriously, man, and wanted to make something. And the script is so relatable that playing myself only makes sense, because it kind of tells the story of any young entrepreneur, entertainer, or anybody just trying to get it in this world. You know what I'm saying? It kind of tells their struggle, and I can relate to that in a real way. So, I really appreciate the opportunity, man, to just really be a part of it, man. I really do.
Absolutely.
It was dope.
Yeah, that your first day on set, to me, was probably the best day on set. It was a challenging day. It was a 16, 17-hour day.
It's a long day. Right
we had shot at a different location earlier in the morning, and then we went to the restaurant for most of the day. And a lot, because I wrote the script to fit a small amount of locations because of such a micro budget.
Right.
And so a lot of it took place in this restaurant. And honestly, I don't think I had any more fun than I did being on screen with you and Cody. You and Cody, working with you guys. I've worked with Cody on the acting tip since we're 15. Since he's a couple of years older than me, since I'm 15. And just, adding you to that, it was like a perfect piece to the puzzle. I think the three of us worked really well together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I remember he had you dying.
Man, that dude was hilarious, bro. That dude was hilarious, man. Like, that put me at ease. At first, I was like, oh, shit, serious. And then when I saw him, I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's dope. I'm comfortable
Well,
now.
you got there when we were filming a fairly serious scene.
Yeah.
And then we went to the comedic right after with you. I mean, look, I gotta have him on here. He's a beast.
Yeah,
but
man.
So, and honestly, I think most of my favorite moments from that set involved you, like going to the studio and recording or filming your character, being in the studio for the first time.
That was hilarious.
And you did freestyle a little bit there, not rapping. You freestyled a line in there that had me dying. Absolutely, still when I watch the movie today, like that, I laugh out loud because the pro rec, like that, just I love it.
Right. That was a really dope scene, man. That was a really dope scene.
So I was reading something yesterday on Facebook. Somebody was clowning Adam Sandler for having the same people in each movie. Now, I look at it. I look at it the exact opposite. He has his people, and he keeps putting them on.
Yeah.
If you have a platform, and that's why so many of my friends were in the movie.
Yeah.
That's why you were in the movie. That's why Cody was in the movie. That's why Farnham was in the movie. Farnham had that one scene, but I called him up kind of last minute and said, hey, I need you. And he's like, I'll be there. And that's all it was. So I say this, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Anytime I ever have a platform, I just want to bring my people along. I want to give them opportunities to shine. And that's how I think life should be.
Really, man. That's how I've been operating my whole life, man. It hasn't been the most fruitful as of yet. But I know at the end of the day, man, that genuine love that you show to others and that genuine love, just putting the fam on, the team on, that kind of stuff it makes its way back into your life, man. Maybe that sounds like some karma or something like that, but I do believe that, you get a return on stuff like that. And when it comes from the heart like that, man, and it propels other people, it's something about that that's satisfying. I don't know if it's just me or not, but it's something about seeing people succeed and knowing that you had your hand in it, or knowing that, it could have went the opposite way.
Yep.
Like, just to see them, do what they got to do, the shit is amazing, man. I look at people like LeBron James, man, how he put all his boys on. And, they became a conglomerate, man. They out here killing the game on the business end. And to me, that's inspiring. Like, it gives me hope that, people with that same mindset, like myself, like you and others, that we can really do something out here. You know what I'm saying? With the people that we rock with. And there's nothing wrong with that. I always had a dislike for click hoppers and clout chasers and people like that, who only love you when they need you. Shout out to my boy Israel. People like that, man, I just can't fuck with, man. And they can meet me in any ring for charity boxing, man. Let's do this for the kid.
Man, let's go to the trailer premiere. We did a trailer premiere for A Dream at the Gatsby in Newport Richie, and I just want to shout them out just because they were essential in helping us make that event what it was. And that was just, I was so nervous, bro. I can't even lie to you, man. I was beyond nervous because this was the first time anybody was going to see any of the footage. So we premiered the trailer there, and I've told you this, but we premiered the trailer, and as it was done, the first person I talked to was you. You dapped me up, and you said that was fucking amazing. I'm so proud of you. And I shed a thug tear, dog. I shed a thug tear in that moment. Like, I was just happy, like, you know what I mean? Like, because I look up to you, right? So to hear you say, you were proud and you were excited about what you saw, that I didn't care what anybody else said, honestly. And that was just a good moment, not only for myself, but I think for the entire cast that was there. So what was going through your mind as you were watching the trailer for the first time? 'Cause that was the first amount of footage you even saw.
So there's nothing like, the birth of your first child, right? It's nothing like that, nothing comparable. And I don't mean to try to compare it. But seeing that trailer was like, I kind of felt, the path to get there. You know what I mean? All of the hard work, the long nights, the meticulous planning, gathering the right personnel to make it happen. All of everything, every struggle that had to do with making this come to life, I felt it in that moment. And watching that trailer was somewhat of a release. And I can kind of feel your joy. I can kind of feel your joy. So, man, I wanted to let you know exactly what I felt at that moment. And at that moment, I was like, man, I'm fucking proud of LJ. I can't believe he did this shit. And I looked around and I saw everybody and I'm just like, he did this shit. He did this shit. I got to tell him.
And I'm glad you did, bro. Like that. I mean, there's certain moments in people's lives that I think that you'll never forget, and that was one of those moments. Just that night in general, but especially talking to you about the movie or about the trailer after. I don't think that's a moment that I'll forget.
Me neither, man.
And
Me neither.
that was it was a good night. I'm proud of what we all accomplished with that movie. And I mean, you already know. I already told you I got a role for you in the next one. We're shooting this summer, so there's a little not an announcement, but you already know. So let's venture to real and raw. Do you care to talk about the negative experience that we encountered this last year?
I
asked because
someone,
I asked because a lot of aspiring actors, rappers, whatever. Look, there's highs and lows, and when you experience something that we experience, it's easy to just say, "Fuck it, I'm done," and none of us did that. So that's why I ask if you're cool with talking about it.
Yeah, man, I don't have a problem at all, man. One thing that I realized that this life, I always say this, man, you learn into death. You learn into the day that you die. Your capacity for learning is never done. It's ever expanding. And when it comes to, the entertainment business, man, it's not as easy. It's not as fun as people might, think it is just looking on from the outside looking in. Right. And when you're making business moves and when you're trying to like really make a run at doing something great, it's always going to be some pushback and some opposition. Now, the opposition that we got, we didn't expect because it came from in-house. You know what I'm saying? Right. It came from in-house. After all of this planning, after all of this, making things happen and putting money forth towards stuff. Me personally quitting my job and moving forward, sacrificing my family. It really hit in a whole different way when our investor pulled out. Like it hit in a whole different way. Now you go from making strides and doing some things, gathering clientele and maneuvering through business, and then all of a sudden now you got to scramble. Now you got to get to this next point all by hand. And for me, it took, I would get on the road and be gone for 2 weeks, come home and go straight back to work. And, it took a toll on me. I lost my wife that way. It's so many things, man, that I had to sacrifice to try to make something happen. But that's, for the people that's young or trying to do something, that's to be expected. Maybe not as extreme as my situation because I put my neck out there, I really did. But still, there's going to be something to be sacrificed, and mostly it's going to be time. time is that's one thing you can expect to sacrifice when you're doing these kind of things. And for me, the label, the merch lines, um, uh, you know, the videos and the shows and stuff like that. All of that stuff, when you're doing it independently, you have no label backing, no investor backing, no endorsements, no nothing. It's a total grind that you have to be prepared for mentally. It can really fuck with you in your head, man, if you're not prepared for that, man. And struggles will come, man. It's about how resilient you are, because like you said, man, we still haven't stopped, man. There's so many times I wanted to stop. There's so many times that I could have stopped, but it's just every time I try to stop, it's something that pushes me back into it, that I have no control over myself. And it's like, fuck, man. All right, man. All right, one more time, man. One more time. And that's when that's purpose, in my opinion. When your hand is forced to be on a certain track. So, if anybody's looking to get into the entertainment side of things, man, just know it ain't sweet. It ain't sweet, man.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, so I mean, look, that to me feels like, a perfect place to leave it. But let me ask this: for anybody listening, knowing all the stuff that you went through and all that, what advice would you give any aspiring rapper, singer, actor? Like what would you tell them?
Know yourself, and you can never be lost. Know yourself, man. Know yourself. Perfect your craft, number one, before you even try to, bring attention to it. Perfect your craft. Figure out what you're good at, figure out what you're not so good at, and see if you can improve upon it. If you can't, leave it alone. And just really play to your strengths. I know we all think we got people around us and are in our corners that we can trust, but reevaluate your circle before you go forward. Look yourself in the mirror and see if you're prepared to go on, such a journey. Make sure your family is a solid base. You know what I'm saying? Make sure they're ready to endure what comes next, because the shit ain't sweet, man. You don't drop a song and you become famous overnight. Shit don't work like that. Just those things, man. Just preparation.
Perfect. All right, man. Well, thanks again for hopping on Starving Artist. I really appreciate you, bro. I think we had a good talk. So hopefully everybody listening, hopefully they picked up some of the jewels and listen to your advice, take it and run. So with that being said, actually, you know what, man? Let them know where to find your music.
Yeah, man. You can find me on all social media platforms at Young One Jonah. That's everywhere. Also, Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon, everywhere. Young One Jonah. You can find my whole catalog. TikTok as well. Yes, sir. TikTok as well. Yeah. If y'all on that, go ahead and do a video to Reckless, man.
Yeah, you got to. All right, man. Thank you again, bro. To the audience, this has been Starving Artist, and we'll see you next time.